Hi YouTube world, it is Adrienne in New York City. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, I really appreciate you clicking on this video. This is a Shop My Stash type of series where at the beginning of the week, I shopped my stash and now I'm giving you kind of my thoughts, feelings about the products I've used, and I am gonna do a chatty get ready with me using some of these products because sometimes I think that that's important. And in this case, I think it's one of those weeks where it matters for you to see the products in use. It's my husband's birthday today, and we are going out to dinner with his family, and I'm just getting dressed for that. So it will be a more natural look because that is my husband's preference. On this side of my face, I am actually applying the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base because I want to give this one last shot against the foundation I've been trying for the majority of the week. I'm going to be wearing the MAC Skin Canvas Balm on this side. Now this is nowhere near as hydrating. I know I don't even like it underneath this foundation. It's really more lotion-like. The other one is much thicker, but I'm going to compare it side by side to see if it really affects the makeup. I don't think it does much for my skin type. Keep trying it. I did buy it. I did buy the mini size. So I want to make sure I get my money's worth. I'm using the Laniege Lip Treatment Balm. This is the heavier overnight balm. It has like a pina colada type of scent. I have a little mini of it. I'm just going to use that to just prep my lips a little bit. For this week, I used a couple of products. Some I won't be using, but I'll give you my thoughts. This Halo Glow by e.l.f. in the shade 1 Fair. I do not like this. I have tried this in a variety of different ways. It's just not the best color for me. I don't like how my skin looks. I've kind of used this all over and then applied my makeup. I don't understand that because I don't feel like it really comes through in my makeup. I've mixed it with my makeup. It did not work really well with the makeup I tried it with. I just tried it as a highlighter. I didn't really even love it. I love some other products more. And so I guess if you're really into these type of products and like the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter, things like that, sure, this is comparable. But I'm just not even into those type of products. Next up, I'll just talk about this one because I'm not gonna use it, is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin. This is the one that's in this type of container. I have mine in shade 3. It's a good shade match for me. I know it looks a little bit deeper, but as you put it on, it actually blends out really nicely. This is a really unusual product and I just don't think it is right for me right now. I'm going to save this and bring it out in the summer months. I think I will have better luck. But essentially for me right now, it is too drying on my skin. I think once I have natural oils flowing from the summer months, it'll look prettier. The primary foundations I played with were these. These are by Revolution Makeup. They're the Conceal and Glow Illuminating Foundation, medium to full coverage with vitamin C and lotus flower extract. I have 2 shades here. I have F4 and F5. I actually mix them to get my color. This one is the F4. It's much more kind of pinky, peachy, and actually it almost looks like it has a different consistency. It's much more runny. So that is kind of the color I go for. I lightly pick it up with a brush and I kind of start to stamp it around my skin. This is very full coverage. For me, I don't wear full coverage products, so this is about as full coverage as I ever want to get with my skin. For a foundation that says Conceal and Glow, I find that there's just not as much glow. I find it to be quite a thin formula, but it sits on my skin and can grab onto dry patches if I'm not careful, and can also just sort of feel like it's drying out my skin. However, if I get this right, if I apply this correctly, it makes my skin look so good. I'm just going in with a a little bit of a second layer. And I really do think you can build this up, but I cannot go past this point because I would just feel like I'm wearing a mask. I'm just gonna put on a headband. So that is the foundation there. This is the MAC primer side. This is the Bobbi Brown side. I've looked really closely in a mirror, and definitely the Bobbi Brown side is way nicer. It looks like it helped fill in some of my larger pores, whereas the MAC one didn't do that. It also feels just so much more kind of plump and hydrated, the side that is the Vitamin Enriched face base over the MAC. And so yeah, this is definitely telling me that at least for this foundation, I want something a bit thicker and richer, and I feel like it just looks really pretty. I don't know, I just think my texture looks way nicer on this side. And I mean, you could still see there's imperfection, you know, you can see some of my freckles and imperfections. So I don't like to blank out completely my face, but I do think you can get there with this product. I don't love the scent of this. It smells a little bit like paint, sort of like the Wet n Wild Photo Focus smell. It's a scent. It's like a kind of a bit like a paint like scent. I also can't figure out completely if this is causing congestion in my skin. I sense that it might be, just because the few days I've worn it, I do find a new blemish or a new kind of congested pore. I still want to keep it because I don't have a lot of products like this in my collection that I've run into just yet. Only other product in my collection that was more of a medium foundation for me was the Pretty Fresh by ColourPop, one that I had to write sponge on because it was the only way I could make this product look nice. And truthfully, as I've played around with this, I prefer the Revolution product over the Pretty Fresh foundation. So I am going to declutter this one. The powder I used this week was the Bye Bye Pores pressed powder from It Cosmetics. Mine is like cracking. I really love this. I do not think that this needs to be powdered, but I will just powder ever so slightly in my T-zone. This is just a really nice basic powder, and it does a great job in further smoothing, especially my forehead area. So there are a few products I used this week in terms of bronzer. I played around with the Essence Kissed by the Light Illuminating Bronzer in the shade Sunkissed, this bronzer here. I also played around with the Ulta Beauty 3-in-1 cheek palette, this baked cheek palette right here. I have mine in the shade California Sunlight. I also played around with the Linda Hallberg Infinity Glam palette, and I used this as a bronzer. And I also whipped out my Laguna 02 Original by NARS. The Bobbi Brown Bronze Brick. This is like old school throwback. This is the Bronze Brick by Bobbi Brown. So let me put on my favorites, tell you why, and why I'm decluttering some others. So I'm gonna start with that Laguna bronzer, just in the same brush that I used to apply my foundation, which, by the way, another huge plus is that foundation looks beautiful being applied by a brush, and that is a big plus for me. I love this bronzer. I feel like it blends so beautifully, and you can keep building it up, and it's just a perfect color. I don't know why it took me so long to try this and to buy it. I was kind of pushing against it, and I never really loved the Laguna bronzing powder. And so I think that was the reason. This one here, I'm actually decluttering. It's a great palette, but this is just not a good bronze shade on me, and it takes up more than half the palette. The blush is fine, and I really actually love the highlight. The highlight is the prettiest part of the whole palette for me. but I'm not gonna keep this whole thing because I like this highlight, because there are other highlights I have that work well. Great product, great longevity, but just bad color for my skin tone. Another product that I'm decluttering is this face palette by Linda Hallberg. Although it is very, very beautiful, the bronzer is a great color, great color. There's also this super, super dark bronzer that is way too dark for me. These blushes are very nice. They're highly pigmented, but they blend out really nicely. And then these four are almost like cheek toppers. They are very, very shimmery. And I think that just someone who really loves highlighters and like different blush toppers would like this so much better. I know myself and know that I'm not gonna go into it, but I did make this work and I really did love this bronzer, but it really reminded me of the Rhea bronzer from Thrive, which I still have. And although I love these blushes and some of these toppers, I found them in a lot of my other blushes. So I'm gonna let this one go. If you're the type of person that likes an all-in-one type of product where you have everything laid out in a palette, that is very nice and can also be used on the eyes. The Essence Kissed by the Sun, I did not like this as much as I thought I did. So that is this color there. And when I compare it to the Bobbi Brown Bronze Brick, I like the Bobbi Brown Bronze Brick much better. It just has more color in it and it sits on my skin more naturally, more nicely, but still gives a really luminous glow. So I'm gonna put it on over that Laguna. And I just recently picked this product up. This has been a product I've wanted to try for a really long time. I know it's a lot of people's, like one of their holy grail products, but I just had never gotten around to trying it. And I mean, look how beautiful it is. It's not overly glittery, even though if you were to swatch this, it looks like it would be quite sheeny. When you put it on, it does not feel that way at all. And I just love the way it looks. So the winners of the week for sure are the NARS Cream and the Bobbi Brown OG Bronze Brick. Moving on to blush, I was playing around with Linda Hallberg again on the blush department. So these are these duos that are called the Duo Dimension. I have two shades, the shade Area and Zone. Very, very different. And I played with both. They're both beautiful. One side is a little bit more matte. The other side is a little more sheen, a little more sheer. I love mixing them together like both pans. I am actually gonna go with the cool tone, but I highly recommend them. I think they're also super convenient. But this product, which I just got this week in this kind of purpley tone, reminded me of the Pure Nude blush in Gold Cassis, this one here. But this one, I am not the biggest fan of the crazy sheen on it. I think it looks too metallic on the cheeks. And this one gives me the vibe of it without so much of that kind of sheen. And I'm using the darker shade first. And I love this formula because it stays put all day, but it's very buildable. Do you see how pretty? And on my skin tone, it's not terribly cool, but it's definitely on the cooler side for me. I'm just going up that sheen. And there you have it. And I just think that's such a pretty blush color. So I'm definitely parting with the Essence. Let's do brows real quick. I have the Profusion Good Brow Day in the shade Soft Black. I'm just trying to use this up. It's a good one, but it's not my favorite. But it's a skinny brow and it does last all day long. I just don't think I love the color on me. There, the brows are done. I'm gonna go ahead and pop on some of my Smashbox Intensify eyeshadow primer. It holds the shadow so well on my oily eyelids without budging. So I just squeeze some on. It feels so smoothing on my eyelids. It just feels like I'm applying such an incredible balm. but after about like a minute, it forms this like tacky base, and it's just wonderful. The two eyeshadow palettes I played around with this week were both from Viseart, and I have had a bit of a journey with Viseart. I have not loved all of their products. I have not even really loved a lot of their formulas, but I really enjoyed myself this week. I played around with the Bijouxette palette, which I will show you. That's this one here. Super vivid, super beautiful. I will kind of shimmy myself over and insert some looks as I do my makeup, but I used quite a few of these colors. I did it predominantly all matte look one day. I used this green here to create kind of my St. Patty's look. In the center of that green look, I actually used the Eldridge liquid Lurex eyeshadow, this one here. I also wore this one day all over my eye lid. I don't think it performed as well as it should have for the price point. And by the way, this is the shade Daphne. It's kind of a dirty green, similar to a little bit like my nail polish color. It's pretty and you can make it work, but I don't think that this liquid shadow is as spectacular as I was thinking for the price point. The other Viseart eyeshadow palette is the Violette Etendu. This one here. This was stunning. I love so much about this palette. All of these tones are so easy to wear and they look so natural, but they do have a plum edge effect. But since it is my husband's birthday, I love when I wear eyeshadow. I'm going to do something just a little more subtle. I will say that the shades in this look a lot lighter on the lid than in the pan, which is almost like the reverse from Tarte. So like I just went in right now with this shade and I feel like it applies much lighter. There is also kick up with this formula, but I don't know. I've really learned to work with it. So I put this towards the inner corner. I'm gonna go ahead and use this shade here. Yeah, that's pretty. That's kind of like a rosy plummy color. And I just first apply it and then buff it out. I think what had happened to me in the past, and I'm using that light color to help me blend out the edges. I think what had happened to me in the past when it came to Viseart was I went too heavy-handed and the blend was very difficult. What I've now learned is you go light-handed and it's really buildable and easy to blend out. But if you do go for the kind of like that pack it on and then blend, these shadows don't work as well for that method. The mattes though are so creamy and flattering. Where when I was playing around with my Tarte palettes a few weeks ago, what I found was that those shades, when I did like all matte looks, made my eyelids look really old. And I was using the same type of base and I was using the same blending, the same type of brushes. So there is a difference in the formula because these look so creamy on the eyelids and they do not make my eyelids look older. Go ahead and use the shimmer. The shimmers are pretty, but they're not as impressive as the mattes. But if you're somebody who likes a more subtle shimmer, I think you actually might like some of these. I might just take a little bit of that dark plum and stamp it right along my lash line. So there's the eye look. And I love so much of this packaging. Like I love that it has the little clear covering and then it folds up like this beautiful envelope. The packaging is just stunning. I really do like this size palette by Viseart. So I have a couple more Viseart palettes. I'm definitely gonna throw them into rotation, but these are going nowhere. Nowhere. I've really enjoyed playing with them. Also caved and finally purchased a Urban Decay Heavy Metal Eyeliner. I got mine in the shade Pyro, this one here. Oh, I want to put some on. I don't know. Should I? Shouldn't I? I really do love this. I really do love this. I think it's very unique. Maybe I'm gonna put a little bit on, just a little bit on. I just applied that Pyro right over the plummy powder liner, and I'm gonna give it a minute to dry because it really does need to dry. It's dry, and I just think it's such a little delicate, sparkly touch. I am gonna be going in with the Essence Lash Like a Boss. This one here, it is waterproof, but I want to wear waterproof eyeliner, mascara today because I might cry. There you have it. They're a little bit more dramatic, but I like that. I like that this formula is like a little gummy. It just like grabs my eyelashes, and I like that with one coat, this is what I'm able to achieve. It is a pain in the neck to remove because it is waterproof, but like I said, it's a good day for waterproof. I'm likely to tear up a little bit. My husband is turning 50 years old. This is a big milestone birthday, and yeah, it's emotional. It's emotional for everyone. I think I'm also going to add inside of my waterline the shade Wild Side. I just recently purchased this. This is one of the shades that looked really interesting to me in the Urban Decay 24/7 formula that I've never tried before. And it's sort of like this kind of pinky with some sparkle. I love trying slightly unusual eyeliners in my inner waterline because I think it's a very effective way of making your eyes pop without it being too dramatic. You have it. That's the eye look. I really love this eyeliner. I love this formula. It's just a new shade that I've been wanting to try. Also, other mascaras I tried this week. Still playing around with the Tarte. I think I like it. I'm not sure, still on the fence, but it creates a nice natural look. So I'm still playing around with it. This Act Natural by ColourPop, I love this. I am going to declutter it though because it's past its prime, but it's a wonderful brown mascara if you just want a really beautiful natural look, but with some oomph to it. And I really do love this formula. So I think I even have already purchased a new one of this one. And then we have the Jones Road mascara. I have to formulate an opinion on this because I keep going back and forth. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I don't like it. So I'm going to be more intentional about using it this week and figuring it out. For my lips, I tried a few different products, but I'm just gonna stick to the main one that I think was my favorite lip combo for the week. The others I feel are shades of formulas I have already spoken very highly of. One of them is the Fantastic Lips by Linda Hallberg. I love this. I have a video on it. They're a wonderful gel-based formula that stays put and it has like a bit of a shine to it. I'm going to be using the Anywhere Caffeine by Makeup Forever. And I'm going to top it off with my favorite lip product find of the week. And I did a dedicated video on this. It is from Stila. It is the Heavens Glow Dew Oil Gel Oil, Lip Oil. It is this wonderful doe foot applicator, the slight sweet scent to it, but it's so cushiony and I love it. I think it's just so beautiful. I have mine in the shade Moondust, I believe, but it's this one here. And I think that's just right for this type of evening out with my family. I'm gonna spray my face with the Urban Decay All-Nighter Spray. I'm gonna use this up, but I don't think that this works on me. I mean, I've tried and I can't see a difference in my makeup when I wear this or when I don't wear it. I don't know. Maybe I'm not the person for this product, but I am gonna continue to use it and see if I change my mind. But for right now, it's I don't know. Let me bring down my hair and see if I can do something with this. There you have it. Hair down, brushed. Now I gotta go rush and get ready. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know your thoughts. Are there products that I discounted too quickly? Are there products you agree with? Are there other products you want to see me try or spend a little more time talking about? I'm more than happy to hear from you. I hope everyone has an amazing week, and we'll talk soon. Take care, everyone.